All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Swamp, and man, I've just been battling with trying to get all these tabs open again. It's been a pain in the ass. But I think I have most of it pulled back up now, which is great. Possibly. Still working it. But I thought you might not want to hear the theme play again for a fifth time. As great as the song is, you know? I did not set up a needle drop for the intro for this stream, but I figured in place of that, I'll let you guys know that I am now a band manager. I am managing a fantastic band out of Arlen, Texas, called Hank Hill and the Boys from Rainy Street. If you haven't checked it out yet, I made a channel because I've been screwing around with AI stuff for Hank Hill and the Boys from Rainy Street. So here's just a quick sample of that. Hank Hill and the Boys from Rainy Street playing Rocky Top. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home with me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Once two strangers climbed no rocky top, looking for a moonshine steal.
Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will.
Corn won't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far.
That's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their pour from a jar.
Rocky Top, you'll always be home sweet home to me.
You know, I thought it was a weird choice since they're from Texas, but, you know, I'll appreciate the shout out, you know. But yeah, check it out. Oh. Shut up, guys. We got it. You've already been introduced. Calm down. So I guess I didn't actually post the link for that, did I? Here we go. I'm going to be posting a ton of stuff. Already got 2 more songs done I'm about to post. It's going to be awesome. If you like King of the Hill, I'm telling you, man, this is better than most of the other AI stuff you've heard because I'm actually like there's going to be actual legitimate 4-part harmonies from Hank Hill, Dale Gribble, Boomhauer, Bill Dauterive. It's going to be good. I finished 2 more today. I've got about a dozen more in the works. And you know what? If no one else likes it, fine. I'll keep playing it just for myself. That's how much I like King of the Hill. All right. On to today's show or tonight's show. I thought maybe the best way to start this would be to play this clip because I'm sure from seeing the title of this stream, you're expecting something spicy. Something spicy. Here is, I don't know, somebody from the UK Home Secretary. And she had something very interesting to say that I think would be a good setup for this stream.
Uncontrolled immigration, inadequate integration, and a misguided dogma of multiculturalism have proven a toxic combination for Europe over the last few decades. I'm not the first to point this out. In 2010, Angela Merkel gave a speech in which she acknowledged that multiculturalism had utterly failed. And then French President Nicolas Sarkozy and British Prime Minister David Cameron echoed similar sentiments shortly thereafter. Multiculturalism makes no demands of the incomer to integrate. It has failed because it allowed people to come to our society and live parallel lives in it. They could be in the society, but not of the society. And in extreme cases, they could pursue lives aimed at undermining the stability and threatening the security of our society.
Wow. I mean, that sounds like things that I've described for quite a while, and I was called a Nazi for saying it. Multiculturalism has failed. That is quite obvious. If you want to immigrate to the United States, or God forbid you actually want to go to the UK for some weird reason, you should be looking to integrate into that society, because if you didn't want to do that, you should stay the hell from wherever you came from. If you liked that culture better, stay there, my brother. What are you doing? The only reason to go to another country is if you wanted to join its society, its culture. And if you don't, again, why don't you just stay where you came from? Clearly something was lacking and you've decided to go somewhere else. So yeah, this will be the stream that gets me taken down, because the stream is not racist, but I do have a few points to make about multiculturalism. I feel like I can say it now, right? I mean, we had this Indian woman in the UK say it. I mean, if a person of color says it, I should be allowed to say it too, right? I'm not sure. I don't think that's how it works, but I can dream. A man can dream. Here is an amazing African queen explaining that... I can't even say it. Let's just watch it. There's going to be a lot of that on this stream, I think.
I just came back from the grocery store and running a couple errands, and I just want to say I am tired of the discomfort that comes from being around white people in this American environment. I'm tired of it, and I'm ready to be somewhere else. I just came back from the grocery store and running a couple errands. Oh, man.
So where do you even start on something like this? I mean, genuinely, which part do we go after first? That's some nice hair you got there, Shaniqua. Interesting how you would have that hair. Very, very, very interesting. Also, wow, are we really going to go down the road that it's black people? Black people are the ones who need to be afraid when they go to an inner city grocery store, a bodega. Are we? Is this really where we're gonna go? This is what we're doing here. Okay. I mean, I don't even think I need to address that. I mean, that is just absurd on every single level. But of course, hey, black people have built every nation on earth. So if you don't like this one, you can certainly go have your choice of any of the ones in Africa. Be my guest. I'm not going to stop you. I think it'd be great. If being around white people is just so stressful. If being around white people, it gives you such discomfort that you imitate their hair and eat their food. Well, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like you're discomforted at all. But don't worry. It gets worse. This is an actual thing that happened in the United States government. It was yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was. Again, I can't even make a setup for this because I'm not allowed to. But we can watch it and then we'll react to it. The absolute state of this government. And I guarantee you, if you talk to this woman, she would have the same feeling as... I guess you'd call it the black Ariel. You know, she's got the red hair and she's black. I don't know. I guarantee you she'd have the same feeling. She's uncomfortable around white people. And then she's out here doing shit like this. The stream is not racist, you guys. But, well.
We start talking about things that look like evidence. They want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the shitter to me. This looks like more evidence of our national secrets, say on a stage at Mar-a-Lago. when we're talking about somebody that's committed high crimes, it's at least indictments. Let's say 32 counts related to unauthorized retention of national security secrets, 7 counts related to obstructing the investigation, 3 false statements, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, falsifying business records, conspiracy to defraud the United States, 2 counts related to efforts to obstruct the vote certification proceedings, 1 count of conspiracy to violate civil rights, 23 counts related to forgery or false document statements, 8 counts related to soliciting, and I could go on because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child. Until they find some evidence, we need to get back to the people's work, which means keeping this government open so that people don't go hungry in the streets of the United States. And I will yield.
Well, thank God for that. Thank God. I wish you would have yielded way before that. All right, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this supposed argument or statement or whatever you want to call it, did she suggest at the end there that if the government shuts down, people will go hungry in the streets? Now, I can only take this one of two ways. One, she actually thinks that somehow the government is responsible for the food on your table, that somehow the government is the one that's making that happen, which is ridiculous. Or there's a lot of black people on food stamps. I'm not really sure which way she wants to go with that. I don't. I mean, where are we going? Which is, I'd like some clarification here because this is ridiculous. And unless I'm mistaken, government shutdown doesn't affect things like that, the entitlement programs. So I'm just confused. Is she a moron, or is she a moron? I mean, because those are the. Second of all, it is very interesting to watch a black woman have her slay queen moment. You know, man, look at her go, and she's getting riled up. She's going at it, and then wait, who is she getting riled up and defending? Joe Biden? Joe Biden? The guy who was responsible for hundreds of thousands of black men being imprisoned? The guy who's the guy who said he didn't want his children growing up in a racial jungle? That's the guy? Okay. And I guess we might as well go to the third point. No evidence. Oh, come on. You have got to be... Well, you're a liar. Everyone knows the evidence at this point. And if you brought up the evidence of Joe Biden's corruption, no doubt they would just hand wave it off and say, oh, no, this is stupid. Like that reporter that I talked about last Friday. And you could finally get them to admit that it actually does exist, but it doesn't really count. So why are you talking about evidence? What are you talking about? And I'm sorry. I have a hard time listening to anybody, regardless of their color or their sex, who acts like they're on Jerry Springer while speaking supposedly for their constituents at on the federal level. I would think that that's not super great. But, you know, whatever. It's what do I know? I am a cartoon on the internet, and I'm proud of that fact. All right, I wasn't exactly sure how to bring this in to the theme, but I think it works. I kid you not. I'm pretty sure one of the most amazing things in modern politics just happened this week. genuinely one of the most monumentous moments, the most, to go down in history moments of all of politics just happened. And it happened in Canada, of all places. America's hat. It happened up there. Before we get into this amazing thing, which I'm sure you probably know where I'm going with this, I want to play this clip to set the stage. All right. I'm sure everyone remembers the Freedom Convoy, the truckers in Canada who were protesting the vaccine mandates, which we were later told there wasn't any mandates. Anyone could do whatever they wanted, which is obviously not true. But when that was happening, we had members of the Canadian government coming out and saying things like this. And until recently, this was my favorite moment in international politics. It has only just been usurped. We have a new thing, and it also comes from Canada. What are the odds? But in case you forgot, this is the kind of thing that the Canadian, what do they call it, a parliament, whatever that shithole country's doing, whatever they call that stuff. This is what they said about the Canadian truckers.
How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media? How much vitriol
one more time.
Do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media?
Oh, hey, I mean, honk honk. Honk honk. You get it? Because it's HH, Heil Hitler. We know for a fact honk honk is an acronym for Hail Hitler. That's how against Nazis these people are. They're reading way between the lines. They're looking for Nazis everywhere. They are investigating the hell out of everything to root out all the Nazis. So honk your horn twice, bad man. Once, okay. 3 times is totally fine. Twice, honk honk, HH, Heil Hitler. Canada can't do it. That's crazy. You are absolutely insane. So in case you missed this great moment in international politics, I'm going to play the clip and let me know if you notice anything. If anything jumps out at you from what's happening here. It's great. It's great.
Speech received at least a dozen standing ovations. There was also one for this man, a 98-year-old Ukrainian Canadian who fought for Ukrainian independence against the Russians during the Second World War.
Now, here, I'll play it again because the volume was kind of low. But let's the statement itself. Okay, wait a minute. A Ukrainian Canadian who fought against the Russians during World War II. Now, what could that mean? What do those words add up to? Who was fighting against the Russians in World War II? I don't know. But I know if you honk your horn twice, it means Heil Hitler. But here, let's play it again. So got the sound back up. It's just beautiful. I love it.
Zelensky's speech received at least a dozen standing ovations. There was also one for this man, a 98-year-old Ukrainian Canadian who fought for Ukrainian independence against the Russians during the Second World War.
Fought against the Russians for Ukrainian independence during the Second World War. Now, for those of you completely ignorant of history, like apparently everyone in Canada is, that's a Nazi. That is an actual Nazi. Not like how when they talk about me, they go, Swamp's a literal Nazi. No, this guy is actually literally a Nazi. There's photos of him in his SS uniform. The guy was actually, not euphemism, not hyperbole, literally a Nazi. Oh, come on. They're so on top of all their Nazi stuff in their country that they're reading between the lines on the honks of the truckers to figure out that the truckers, man, the truckers, Those guys are literal Nazis. Oh, by the way, we're here to honor a Ukrainian Canadian who fought against the Russians in World War II. Next thing you know, they're going to find someone who's somehow Hitler's long lost child, and they're going to bring him in and honor him for being a civil rights activist. Oh, dude, this is great. And now you may think for a second, just for 1 second, well, this is insane, but it can't surely it can't get worse. No, that's why this is the greatest moment in international politics of all time, because it just keeps getting better. It just keeps getting better. So, first of all, obviously Trudeau is responsible for this, right? I mean, it's his government, right? Not long before this happened, the man himself, who just wanted to give a standing ovation to a brave citizen, a Ukrainian Canadian who fought against the Russians in World War II, he had some pretty strong words for what he viewed as people from his own government going to speak with, in his words, a far-right, extremist Nazi from Germany. Now, I think that anyone who has half a brain knows that, well, I don't even if I don't know who this person is, I can assume the characterization is probably incorrect, just because who this is coming from. Doesn't matter. This is how Trudeau viewed it, and this is how on top of this stuff he was. I'm telling you, it just keeps getting better. Trudeau, or Castro Jr., as he is also known.
Day. The leader of the official opposition has not apologized for having had 3 MPs, including one of them who is still part of his leadership team, sit down to dine with a far-right German politician a number of months ago. No recognition, no apologies, no consequences for those 3 MPs who engaged with a far-right German politician. Mr. Speaker, if the leader of the opposition wants the government to help him vet those his MPs meet with, we'd be more than happy to give him some better advice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, surely. If there's one thing we've learned now after the standing ovation for a man who fought against the Russians in World War II, they are great at vetting people. I mean, they know exactly who they're talking to all the time. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, you guys. It keeps going. It just keeps getting better. So here's Trudeau right after, and he's having to apologize for this. What a spineless little squid this guy is. I love it. The greatest moment in international politics, you guys. I'm telling you.
Obviously, it's extremely upsetting that this happened. The speaker has acknowledged his mistake and has apologized. But this is something that is deeply embarrassing to the Parliament of Canada and, by extension, to all Canadians. I think particularly of Jewish MPs and all members of the Jewish community across the country who are commemorating Yom Kippur today. I think it's going to be really important that all of us push back against Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation, and continue our steadfast and unequivocal support for Ukraine, as we did last week with announcing further measures to stand with Ukraine in Russia's illegal war against it.
So, and stay with me here. So, Trudeau's government and his Progressive Party gave a standing ovation to a Ukrainian fighting against the Russians in World War II. And this is Russian propaganda that we need to fight against. Wait, is Trudeau admitting to being a Russian agent? What is going on here? That's where he's going to go with it. The Russian disinformation. You've got to be kidding me. But no, his people are fantastic at vetting, making sure they know who's coming into these hallowed halls up here in America's hat, known as Canada. But wait, there's more. I'm telling you guys, this is you're going to be telling your kids about this. This is going to be something that's going to go down in history as just the funniest damn thing that has ever happened. Really ever. So, we had Trudeau apologize. And now, here we go. Check this out. This could potentially make some of these people look bad, right? I mean, giving a standing ovation to a Nazi that you invited could potentially might not play well with the with the citizens, right? So instead of just like Trudeau just deflected this and said that, oh, well, I mean, we can't support Russian disinformation. We have another person here. What is her position? I don't see what her position is. She's in the Liberal Progressive Party in Canada. Whatever. It's Canada. Who really cares about that? Her thing is that she really doesn't want people to politicize this. You know, especially the conservatives. It would be in poor taste to politicize the celebration of a Nazi. It's you guys, actually, that would be the bad guys if you talk about this, which is definitely an interesting stance. It's certainly it's one way to look at it, I guess, you know?
I want to please ask all colleagues, particularly those in the Conservative Party of Canada, to make sure that we do not politicize this issue. I don't think it helps anybody. I think we need to make sure that we move forward, recognize this mistake, and stand in solidarity together to reiterate our commitment to Jewish Canadians, but also to Ukrainian Canadians and the people who are fighting for freedom, for peace, and for justice in Ukraine right now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, that is great. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you just didn't talk about this anymore. Now that's some good politics right there. So I know we completely just stepped on the rake, fell right face first down. I mean, damn. But if you could just like not talk about it that much, that would be great. But don't worry. There's more. This woman, oh man, it's good stuff. She doesn't want you to just not talk about it. She wants it stricken from the record. She wants this erased from the record of that meeting of the parliament or whatever. So she doesn't want you to just not talk about it. She wants to try to remove it from the history books altogether. Oh, dude, you can't make this stuff up. This is classic stuff, man. It just keeps going. They just keep stepping on more rakes. They just can't help it.
Ask for unanimous consent to adopt the following motion. That notwithstanding any standing order, special order, or usual practice of the House, the recognition made by the Speaker of the House of an individual present in the galleries during the joint address to Parliament by His Excellency Volodymyr Zelensky be struck from the appendix of the House of Commons debates of Thursday, September 21st, 2023, and from any House multimedia recording. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Which is just great. So she wants it stricken from the record. I wonder why. So, thankfully, there's some people who are still somewhat sane up in Canada. And I'm sorry if you're one of my Canadian viewers, because I know there's a few of you out there. I don't mean to just, crap all over your country, but man, whenever I want to feel better about what's happening in the United States, I just look to Canada. So this did not pass. She put it to a vote to say we should strike this from the record that says we honored a Nazi, and everyone said, yeah, no, that was your fault. That was you did that, and Trudeau was even on his soapbox right before this saying, if the conservatives need help to know not to talk to right wing extremists, I can help you with that. I can vet these people for you. Yeah. It worked out so well. I did have a clip. I think I'm going to skip this one of one of the conservative politicians making fun of him, but he's not going to say it as funny as I did. So let's just say he was right, but he's not as funny or as good looking as I am. Before we move on to the next order of business, somebody made a just beautiful edit of this to really put it into perspective about what happened here. To translate the person who said, "This is amazing. It's beautiful that they're giving a standing ovation to a Ukrainian Canadian who fought against the Russians in World War II." We kind of cut through we cut through the BS a little bit here. So this is a fantastic edit, you guys. Here we go.
We have here in the chamber today a literal Nazi. His name is Yaroslav Hunka, a Waffen SS soldier who pledged allegiance to Hitler, fought against our allies in the Soviet Union, and was complicit in the Holocaust. This man's a criminal. Not a great look for us. We have...
If anyone was telling the truth, that's what would have happened, which is just wonderful. And this isn't a joke. It's not like he was like somehow kind of related, which was somebody, I can't remember. There was some news outlet, one of the mainstream media that said, so people were upset that there was a Nazi linked person that was given a standing ovation. He wasn't Nazi linked. If you want us to use the word linked, he was in the Waffen SS, was present at concentration camps, and has been known to actually be linked to actual war crimes and the actual death camps. How is this guy walking around in Canada? We have Nazi hunters for this. What's going on here? And I did read somewhere, I think it was Poland, has asked Canada, saying, you need to send us this guy. We are formally requesting that you send him to us, and we'll take care of it. Classic. All right. Let's keep the Nazi trains rolling on time, guys. MSNBC. Back to the United States. Did you guys know? I mean, sure, Canada honors literal Nazis. That's what they use it as a term, but I mean, actually, grammatically correct, literal Nazis. Did you know that Donald Trump saying that he needs 6 months to a year to reform the federal government is a racist dog whistle? It's kind of like Hong Kong meaning Heil Hitler. This is deep level stuff. You really got to know your white supremacy to pick up on these cues, because no one else seems to. But here we go. MSNBC, Joy Reid, of course. Who else? And some guy. Donald Trump is literally Hitler, you guys. Literally.
The fact that it does seem to me that the country, and in many cases the media, seems numb to it.
I think there's no question that the country and the media is numb to it. The threshold in this moment is very simple. Everything that Donald Trump says should be taken literally and seriously.
And now let's before we continue down this, he just said everything Donald Trump said should be taken literally. Now, what do you think the odds are going forward? He's going to take Trump's words literally. Because I'm willing to bet he's going to do some reading between the lines here. That he's not going to take the words literally. But this is the mainstream media, I mean, they're actually great. Maybe he nails it. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, they've certainly earned it, right? Yeah.
What he did today was threaten the employees, the journalists, at NBC News. What he said more broadly is he's going to shut down the free media in the United States. What he announced today as a candidate for president in 2023 is he's coming after the American media. He's coming after his political opponents. Why is he running for president? He's running for retribution. Retribution, according to Donald Trump, is a philosophy of avenging anybody who was against him.
Which so far sounds completely based. I'm 100% on board with this. And isn't it funny that they pretend to cower at the idea of going after political rivals when all they do all day is celebrate the 93 indictments against Donald Trump? Sure. No, let's keep taking it literally, because I'm sure he's gonna keep, he's on the right track, you guys. Well, this is going places. This is good reporting.
So we are on the edge of an abyss in this country, and it seems that there is a paralysis, a numbness, a total disregard for the clear and present threat. There is something extraordinary happening. The people who are trying to tear down democracy in the country keep telling the rest of the country what it is they plan to do, to such a degree that they have announced their plans 6 months into 2025 to have taken apart the whole of the federal government. Now, since FDR's time in office, the legislative metric in the United States has been 100 days, not 6 months. This is a racist code whistle to every white supremacist in the country, because it's how long it took Adolf Hitler to take Weimar Germany to a complete and total dictatorship. That included, by the way, the military swearing an oath of allegiance, not to the nation, but to the Fuhrer. And the military was the institution amongst many in Germany that were the last holdouts to this. But
now obviously we have an amazing journalist here. This guy knows what he's talking about. You know, I mean, he's obviously got it. He's got it all figured out, man. Because if you were to listen to him, and stay with me here, you guys, because this is serious. These are literal Nazis that we're dealing with here. The only thing in politics ever, and you can check this, across all political instances in the United States and every other country on earth through all of human history, there was only one thing ever that took 6 months. That's how we know that he's talking about Hitler. Because Hitler took 6 months. You get it, right? It's the only... I mean, if somebody says in politics 6 months, what do you immediately think of? Oh, Adolf Hitler, Weimar Germany. Of course, obviously. What else could he be talking about? I'm not familiar of anything else that's ever taken 6 months. It's actually pretty astounding, really. And the similarities are stark. Okay? I don't know if you've been paying attention. So Hitler, he wanted to build the power of the government and take over the government and wield it. Trump, and here's the nefarious part, where you really got to take him literally, wants to dismantle the federal government. Now, on the surface, these may seem like opposite things. But if you consume enough mainstream media directly into your bloodstream, these opposite things are actually the same. It's great, actually. Because you don't even need to think about it, dude. They'll tell you. You may think these are the opposite. They're not. Oh, okay, cool. I'll keep drinking my Soylent and injecting estrogen into my ass. Oh, wow. Fantastic. So we had actual literal Nazi in the Canadian government honored. No, don't talk about that. We don't need to take them literally. Don't talk about it. The United States, a man who has nothing to do and is clearly not even related to Nazism at all, is actually a literal Nazi, you guys, and we should talk about it 24/7. And since this is this stream isn't racist, but Joy Reid, what are you doing? Joy Reid talks quite a lot about how she hates white people. What's going on with the hair, Joy? What's going on? Just an observation. You can you think whatever you want about it. But sure. All right, let me see. I like I said, I lost all my tabs and I had to try to open them back up and rearrange them again. We could just watch the clip again of them honoring the Nazi because that is good TV. But no, we'll move on. Since we're doing a lot of talking about Nazis, we'll cover one more thing before we get into our weekend pregame segment of the show. Apparently, and you're going to have to be the judge on whether or not you think that this is actually legit or not. Because let's say I'm skeptical, but this is a teacher on TikTok. I say apparently this shows a lot about Nazis and racism, but par for the course, am I right? A teacher went on TikTok to complain about how she had a student who was denying the Holocaust in her class. And then also said the Holocaust was a good thing. So it seems like if this were to be true, this is someone who spends a lot of time on 4chan, on Poll. The meme, the joke about the Holocaust didn't happen, but it should have. That meme. Maybe you're not a regular Poll user, but I mean, you could only been on there once and you would have seen it. But that's also kind of why I'm skeptical of this. But anyway, here's a teacher claiming that she has a kid in her class. She's a 16-year-old boy who denies the Holocaust. I'm skeptical. To say the least.
Today, a 16-year-old boy denied the Holocaust happened and said it was a good thing, all in the same conversation. And I don't think he has enough spark plugs up there to know that that was a contradiction. And coincidentally, I was reading a book on... I
already hate her so much. I mean, the hatred that is flowing out of me just from this, not because of the Holocaust thing, but doesn't have enough spark plugs up there. I mean, the whole thing. And of course, she's bringing out a book that's leftist propaganda about the threat of white supremacy. God, I hate you. I hate you so much. See, guys, I'm not racist. I also hate white women, not just black ones. If anything, I'm a misogynist.
The pipeline to this and how these people speak to each other online and how this sort of speech is just like venerated on these social media apps. And this little chicken nugget just opens up his mouth and says the Holocaust was a good thing because it decreased the world population. So I go over and I lean on the little monitor thing next to them and I said, go ahead.
God, I hate this woman so much. This is actually going back to Tomfoolery Tuesday. These mannerisms, the way that she's talking and moving, her facial expressions this is your brain having overdosed on social media. This is not a normal way that humans move or communicate at all. It's sad to see. It's sad to see.
Go ahead. Keep talking. Say more words. What else? It'll give me more to write down on your referral. And he kept talking because he doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. So he said, how do I know it even happened? It seems like a myth. Then he said that it happened in the 16
facial expressions
somethings.
are killing me.
You don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, do you? You have no fucking idea what we're talking about.
I would like to say, if this were to actually happen, I am definitely doubtful that this actually happened, because basically everything every teacher says on TikTok is a lie. But if it did happen, this makes her look bad, not the kid. Because if you think that the kid's actually stupid, that he just doesn't know what he's talking about, you're a teacher. That's your job. Teach the kids something. But instead, if this happened the way she said it did, which I don't think it did, she's using it as a chance to be a sassy queen and do the whole suck her teeth. Well, say more words. You know that stupid crap that they do? Fired. You don't have to go to jail, but fired for sure. I mean, maybe I'm a Nazi extremist. I don't know. It seems like you missed an opportunity to be a teacher. But what do I know?
So I explained when it happened, and I said that there are still survivors of it today, and they would be, you know, a little bit upset if they heard you talking like this. And he said,
why does the number of Holocaust survivors seem to go up every year? Just a random observation.
Happened in the 16-somethings. You don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, do you? You have no fucking idea what we're talking about. So I explained when it happened, and I said that there are still survivors of it today, and they would be, you know, a little bit upset if they heard you talking like this. And he said, there are no survivors. They are all ash. Mm-hmm. So the little cow.
Oh, come on, lady. Come on. If he said that, it was a joke. And I'm sorry, it's not too soon for Holocaust jokes. That was, I mean, come on. It's not even too soon for 9/11 jokes, and that was a lot sooner. That happened a lot more recently than the Holocaust. But come on. This woman's brain has been completely destroyed by social media. She's talking and moving her arms around like this and making the facial expressions and going, doing the click thing a lot. And then when he says there are no survivors, they're all ash, which again, I don't think even happened. But she doesn't read that as a joke. She doesn't read that as a troll, but oh, this edgy teenager. You shouldn't be a teacher, lady. Definitely not. But then again, you have TikTok, which is already, I mean, have TikTok get fired.
Pie tried to deflect and say that I was putting words in his mouth because he was just digging himself deeper into his hole. Then he tried to change the conversation and asked me if I listen to Christian music. I said, no, I do not. And then he said, oh, so that means you're a Satanist?
Oh, God, her facial expressions, it is so painful. Do people do this in real life? Like the people who do this on social media, do they take their social media personas to real life? Because I got to tell you, if I came across a guy who started doing some shit like this, I'd have to hit him for his own good. Jeez. God.
Satanist?
Oh.
The two don't have, like, the one does not equal the other. And then he got up and left without asking permission, just walked out of the room. So he got a big old fat referral, and the vice principal reading my note on all of the things that he said. For the record, you know, he was reading it and he goes, oh, okay, oh my God, okay, oh, yeah. Yeah.
All jokes aside, what we just heard was the story of a teacher admitting that she is a god-awful teacher. That's what we just heard. Kid cracks a joke about the Holocaust. Okay, you may find it incredibly offensive. You took it as a social media TikTok challenge. And then started going, actually, say more words. Do it. I dare. Say more words. Fired. You should absolutely be fired. 100%. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be moving on to the final segment. The weekend pregame. I have 2 clips to play here. As soon as I find the other one. One, I genuinely just think this is absolutely hilarious. And it ties in to the theme of the evening. This is a young woman making a TikTok talking about the trauma that she experienced from losing, I guess, her liberal boyfriend as he became red-pilled. Oh no, he suddenly became more of a man. Oh no. As you can see, it starts off very eloquently. So my boyfriend turned red pill. He turned red pill. This will give you a chuckle.
Red pill, and at this point we haven't spoke for about a month.
I roll it back, Harry.
So my boyfriend turned red pill, and at this point we haven't spoke for about a month. And I can't cope with the fact that someone who I saw is so compassionate and thoughtful and intelligent, so caring and open-minded.
Sounds like a loser.
Just completely did a 180. They were just so supportive.
If the boyfriends or the ex-boyfriends out there, I just want to say, good for you, brother. I'm glad you stopped being just a little bitch.
And caring, and even when I would have my self-sabotaging episodes, they still loved me. They really felt like a blessing. And being with them made me realize, like, all the things that I needed to work on. But it came to a point where I started noticing differences in them.
Real quick, is it just me, or does she kind of look like a young Hillary Clinton? You know what I mean? You seen those old photos of Hillary Clinton? She kind of looks like a young Hillary Clinton. I don't know what that means. It's just hitting me just now as we're watching this. Spot on, right? It's like a dead ringer for a young Hillary Clinton. Well, that guy, his red pilling came none too soon. You get away from that woman. She looks like Hillary Clinton. You run away. And I just want to say, whatever she says after I was having one of my self-sabotaging episodes. Okay, a guy doesn't need to be red pilled to know to leave you. Not that you know, and everyone has to be perfect. Just the fact that, oh, I just know and accept that I have self-sabotaging episodes. It makes it sound like it's a normal thing. You're justifying your own bad behavior. So maybe the guy wasn't red pill. Maybe he just woke up and was like, this broad's crazy and she looks like Hillary Clinton. I should get out of here.
Like, I started noticing that they would talk to me like I was like their child. Like something.
Well, you're certainly
that
acting
they
like
had
one.
To have control over. And then it evolved into hypothetical arguments all the time. Like, just about the stupidest stuff, about like child support and what makes a woman valuable and like what women want in a man, all that.
It sounds like he was growing up. You know, he was starting to realize that, oh, all that dumb crap that I used to think, it was dumb.
I'm like, I don't know why you're talking to me about this.
Of course
and
you don't.
It would get so bad because it really just pried at my insecurities, especially when talking about like women whose dads left. And I would always just,
I'm willing to bet She doesn't have a dad in the picture, does she?
End up crying and asking why. Like, why are you doing this? And as someone who has like poor emotional control, it took a lot to not just.
See, again, so as someone who has poor emotional control, he started treating me like a child, and I don't know why. I also have self-sabotaging episodes. Lady, if you still haven't figured out why this guy left you, I'm starting to get a pretty clear picture over here. I could tell you. I can just write down the words you said and give the piece of paper to you and go, here, read this slowly. Why would he treat me like a child? I have poor emotional control.
Just like blow up all the time. And it was so hard to just step back and be like, okay, that's like, he's just going through a weird phase. That's not the person who he is. It just kept progressing, and no matter how much I tried to improve myself and just give him what he was asking for, I felt like it just wasn't enough. I still don't understand what he was asking for, because these types of women that red pill podcast.
I still don't understand what he was asking for. Damn. He started talking about like what makes a woman valuable and how to be like a mature adult. And I still just don't know what he wanted from me. Well, it sounds like he dodged a bullet that looks a lot like young Hillary Clinton. Good for you, bro. Hope you're doing good.
Men talk shit about, like, I don't have a lot in common with. Like, I don't go out, I don't party, I don't dress really showy. I'm not a gold digger. Like, all I wanted was to just be loved by somebody. I felt like I was being torn apart. Like, I did this, but it wasn't enough. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, again, she's trying to portray it as if she tried to do what he wanted, but she keeps saying he doesn't even know what he wanted. I don't know about you, but this shit is hilarious.
It just wasn't going to work for them because I was too American and I didn't understand, and the women overseas are better. And it just really broke my heart. It broke my heart so bad. And it got to the point where my family witnessed it firsthand, like what they were doing. And
oh, witnessed it firsthand. We're about to find out. People always say stuff like this, like, people witnessed the abuse. It was terrible. And you know, okay, I'm bracing myself. What happened? Was this like a knockdown, drag? I mean, they witnessed it. As if there's something really bad here? I'm going to guess probably not. But they saw it, man. It's real.
And that's when it ended. And I can't find closure because
oh wow, we didn't even get close to an explanation for that.
To that person. I feel like I don't know who this person is. What happened to the person I felt safe with? Because who they became, sometimes I did not feel safe. And it just hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. And I can't wrap my head around it. I can't believe it. I feel like red pill men stole my future husband from me because I really, really thought.
What I think is funny is she's still saying, she's still using the male pronouns, my husband, my boyfriend, you know, but she never once used he or him. She just keeps saying they the whole time. And I didn't feel safe anymore, you guys. I just didn't feel safe. Why? He said he wanted a family. And he thought that women should take care of children. And my parents witnessed this. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's something else, man. All right, I had two of these clips to end, two quick clips to end the weekend pregame, but I seem to have lost one of them. So we'll just play the one. It's my favorite thing in the world. YouTube's favorite segment. Climate activists getting what they deserve, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, the best thing in the world. And we're seeing more and more of it, and I am stoked. Oh. One more time. It's beautiful. I had one other clip of the climate activists getting what they deserve, but I guess I lost it while trying to reopen all these tabs. Yeah, I guess I lost it. Oh, well. But what I didn't lose was Hank Hill and the boys from Rainy Street. Make sure you subscribe to the band that I am now managing. Here, let's play. I was just working on this one today. We'll use this to play ourselves out. All right, everyone. My name is Swamp. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you liked the stream. Of course, check out the merch page. Join the Discord. Link in the description. What else? I think that's it. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Here is Hank Hill and the boys from Rainy Street playing a song from Taking Back Sunday. Oh, yeah. Oh, they did it, man. And they nailed it.
You've got this new head filled up with smoke. I've got my veins all tangled close to the jukebox bars you frequent, the safest place to hide.
All right, guys. I will see you next time. And don't forget, stay wicked, my friends.
You are everything I want, but you are everything I'm not.
And we lay together, just not too close, too close. And we lay together, just not too close, too close. I just wanna break you down so badly. Everything you say, I just wanna break you down so badly in the worst way.
My inarticulate store-bought hangover hobby kitty talk, and it says, oh, you are so cool.
When scissors shaped across the bed, you are red, violet red, hollow out my hungry eyes, you hollow out my hungry eyes.
And we lay together, just not too close, too close. And we lay together, just not too close, too close. Well, I just wanna break you down so badly. I just wanna everything you said. I just wanna break you down so badly in the worst way. I just wanna break you down so badly. I just wanna everything you said. I just wanna break you down so badly in the worst way.
I'm gonna make dang sure that you can't ever leave. No, you won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far from me. I'll make dang sure
That you can't